Imagine a ship drifting silently in the vast, empty waters of the Strait of Malacca in 1947, hidden beneath thick, impenetrable fog that blankets everything in sight, rendering it invisible to the passing world. A vessel named the Ourang Medan, carrying no flags, giving no signals, and responding to no calls, seemingly existing beyond the reach of normal communication or comprehension, until a distress message broke through the static, chilling in its simplicity and terrifying in its implications. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead, followed by one final whisper that echoed hauntingly through the radio. Static-filled silence. I die. The message faded away into the void without explanation, leaving those who heard it grappling with disbelief, confusion, and dread, prompting rescuers to locate the ship and investigate this alarming distress call. They found the Ourang Medan drifting silently and lifelessly upon the calm Black Sea, as if it had been waiting patiently for their arrival. When they boarded, nothing could have prepared them for the horrifying scene awaiting them on deck bodies strewn everywhere, crew members frozen stiff where they had stood or sat, their faces locked into expressions of unspeakable terror, eyes wide open, mouths agape, arms raised defensively, as if shielding themselves from some invisible horror. Yet there was no blood, no wounds, no signs of struggle or conflict of any kind, only death, immediate and absolute, leaving investigators baffled, unable to determine what could have possibly caused such instantaneous mortality, nor why the crew had reacted with such palpable terror, and most disturbingly, why none of them had attempted to escape or send further signals for help, as if whatever fate befell them had descended with impossible speed, cutting off any chance of salvation or escape, and raising questions that seemed destined never to be answered. The Ourang Medan floated there, a grim, silent monument to a mystery that the sea seemed determined to keep forever. As the rescuers explored further into the ship, the strangeness only deepened, and each compartment revealed another layer of unsettling evidence. Crew members found scattered across the bridge, chart room, engine room, and sleeping quarters, all positioned as though death had seized them simultaneously, freezing them mid-action. One sailor still gripping a wrench as if fixing machinery, another clutching a coffee mug, while others sat rigidly at their stations, staring ahead into eternity, leaving behind a puzzle with no visible clues to solve, no medical or forensic evidence of what could have caused such instantaneous death. A silence so deep it seemed unnatural, as if the ship itself was holding its breath, daring them to uncover a truth that might be better left undiscovered. Yet they persisted, driven by curiosity, duty, or perhaps the irresistible human desire to solve mysteries that defy understanding. And as the investigators searched for any hint or clue, a disturbing realization began to form that something aboard the Ourang Medan defied logical explanation, something that transcended their experience and challenged their understanding of the world and its limits. Despite extensive searches, no logs or documents were recovered, as if all records had vanished deliberately, as if someone or something had removed them to erase evidence of the ship's final voyage, deepening the mystery and heightening the investigators' unease, prompting whispered speculation among the rescuers about the ship's cargo. Perhaps it carried dangerous chemicals, secret weapons, or forbidden experiments that had gone catastrophically wrong instantly ending all life aboard without leaving any physical trace. Theories that seemed plausible, yet remained unsupported by any concrete evidence, and others spoke nervously of darker possibilities, recalling old maritime legends and superstitions about cursed waters and vengeful spirits, stories sailors told to explain the unexplainable. Wondering if perhaps the Ourang Medan had encountered something ancient and malevolent, something lurking in the ocean's depths, awakened and angered by humanity's trespass into its hidden domain. Despite their growing dread and uncertainty, the rescuers knew they had to tow the mysterious vessel back to port for further investigation, hoping that once safely docked, experts and scientists might finally solve the impossible puzzle of the Ourang Medan. But as they began preparations to secure ropes and chains for towing, an unsettling development quickly halted their plans. Thin wisps of smoke emerged silently from deep within the ship, barely noticeable at first, then rapidly thickening into dark clouds of choking, acrid fumes, pouring out through every hatch and vent, swiftly filling corridors and cabins, as if triggered by their attempts to move the vessel. Within moments, those on board realized with a sinking feeling that a deadly fire was raging unseen in the ship, souls racing out of control beneath their feet, spreading rapidly through compartments inaccessible to them, leaving no chance to extinguish or even control the flames, forcing the rescue team to evacuate immediately, barely escaping with their lives, abandoning the doomed vessel to its fiery fate. Within mere minutes of their hasty retreat, an immense explosion tore through the ship's decks, splintering wood and twisting metal, sending flaming debris soaring into the sky before the vessel was consumed entirely by towering flames, burning violently and briefly before sinking rapidly beneath the waves, disappearing forever beneath the ocean's dark, silent surface, taking all of its secrets and any hope of explanation down into the impenetrable depths below, leaving the rescuers staring helplessly from their own ship, shocked and confused, their only evidence lost in a dramatic and catastrophic instant, raising uncomfortable questions about whether this fire was an accident triggered by their actions or deliberately set. A final act of sabotage meant to ensure the ship as mysteries remained undiscovered forever, leaving everyone involved deeply troubled and haunted by lingering doubts. Whispers of conspiracy quickly spread among the crew, questioning whether higher powers or secret agencies had intervened, destroying evidence to cover up something too dangerous for public knowledge. A theory that became more plausible with every unanswered question, adding another layer of intrigue and suspicion to an already deeply unsettling incident. In the years that followed, the story of the Ourang Medan spread quietly among sailors, a ghost story whispered in hushed tones over late-night watches and across dimly lit taverns. A warning passed between those who knew better than to question too deeply. A legend of a ship found adrift, its crew frozen in terror, its secrets lost forever to the deep. Despite the fading of official records and the disappearance of any formal investigation, strange accounts continued to surface. Reports from passing vessels of unexplained radio signals echoing through static-filled channels, faint voices repeating broken phrases, sometimes just a few chilling words, "I die" or "help us," before dissolving into silence. Those skeptics dismissed these reports as the products of faulty equipment or the overactive imaginations of exhausted sailors. Others, those who had been at sea long enough, believed otherwise, believing that the Ourang Medan had not truly been destroyed, that somewhere in the vast, forgotten corners of the ocean, hidden by eternal mists, it still drifted, an abandoned tomb carried by invisible currents, a relic of some ancient darkness that refused to be forgotten. Occasionally, stories would emerge of ships encountering a phantom silhouette in the mist, a ship that moved without sound, without crew, without lights, leaving only confusion, malfunctioning instruments, and an unbearable sense of dread in its wake. Ships altered their course to avoid whatever presence haunted that stretch of ocean, leaving behind nothing but trembling witnesses and unanswered questions, fueling rumors that perhaps the Ourang Medan was cursed not by man or nature, but by something older and deeper than either, something that punished those who dared to uncover what should have remained lost, a silent guardian of secrets mankind was never meant to know. And as decades passed, the whispers never fully faded, the legend living on, waiting for the next curious mind to stumble upon its trail, and wonder whether the truth was ever meant to surface, or whether some mysteries are kept hidden by design, protected not by fear, but by something far more deliberate and ancient. Today, as modern ships cross the same waters where the Ourang Medan was last seen, the legend continues to stir unease among those who know the story. Though technology has advanced and satellites now chart even the remotest corners of the oceans, there remains a stretch of sea where compasses falter, radios fall silent, and an ancient coldness rises from the depths, as if the ocean itself remembers. In that place, sailors still speak of shadows moving just beyond the edge of vision, of sudden bursts of static carrying faint voices from nowhere, of a heavy silence that falls without warning, and in rare, unconfirmed reports, there are whispers of a ship, old and forgotten, glimpsed briefly through the mist, floating as if time itself had abandoned it, a ship with no lights, no sound, and no life, just a hollow shape slipping between worlds. For those few unlucky enough to glimpse it, an unshakable feeling follows, a certainty that whatever happened aboard the Ourang Medan was never truly over, that some part of that terror still lingers, waiting, patient as the tide, hidden just beneath the surface of the world we think we know. And perhaps one day someone will find it again, will climb aboard and walk those cursed decks, and in doing so awaken whatever sleeps there still, because not every ghost stays dead, not every mystery stays buried, and not every question welcomes an answer. When the sea calls you with its cold, empty voice, you must ask yourself, are you seeking the truth, or are you being invited to join it? Some secrets are meant to be found. Hit subscribe and step into the unknown with us.